Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to deconstruct something we do all the time without even thinking about it, making a turn. But what if I told you that to a professional, a simple turn is one of the most complex and critical moments behind the wheel?
That's right. And for this explainer, we're digging into the incredible teachings of Aris Zographos, a top-tier driving and traffic education instructor. His whole philosophy can really change the way you see the road.
So let's just ask it outright. How dangerous can a simple turn actually be? I mean, we do them dozens of times a day, right? But the thing is, every single intersection is a dynamic, unpredictable environment, and it's absolutely packed with potential risks.
Because, and this is the key takeaway, a turn is never just a change of direction. It's an active, conscious process of managing risk. Making that mental shift is really what separates the everyday driver from a true professional. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll really nail down this idea of a turn as risk management. Then, we'll get into the absolute core of it, the universal 9-step protocol. After that, we'll see how it all works on two-way and then the trickier one-way streets. And we'll finish up with a really cool expert concept called the pyramid of yielding.
All right, let's get into the foundation of it all. And I want to be clear, this isn't just a list of helpful tips. This is a systematic protocol, a checklist you have to execute in order every single time you make a turn. 9. That's the magic number. There are 9 distinct actions you need to take to manage the risk of a turn safely and effectively. Getting these 9 steps into your muscle memory, well, that's your first huge leap toward becoming a safer, more defensive driver. And here they are. It all starts with just recognizing you're approaching an intersection, and it ends with accelerating smoothly out of the turn. But look at what's in the middle. Step 2, check mirrors. Step 5, observe. Step 7, check for right-of-way. Step 8, look all around. So much of this process is about gathering information and building total awareness before you even think about turning that wheel. And this quote right here is just absolutely crucial to that professional mindset. Having the right-of-way doesn't create a force field around your car. It will not protect you from somebody else's mistake. At the end of the day, your safety is your responsibility. That's why you always look twice. Okay, so let's take this protocol and apply it to the real world. We're going to zoom in on step 4, correct positioning, and see how it plays out in the most common environment for all of us, a standard two-way street. Look at how your car's position becomes a strategic defense. For a right turn, you get way over to the right. Why? To physically block your blind spot from cyclists or scooters. For a left turn, you hug the center line to create a clear, safe path that keeps you away from oncoming traffic. See? Each position is specifically designed to shut down a predictable risk. I absolutely love this phrase from the source material, close the right door. It's such a great visual. When you position your car, say 40 to 50 centimeters from the curb before a right turn, you are literally closing the gap. You're shutting the door on a cyclist or motorcyclist who might try to sneak up into your blind spot. It's a proactive move that prevents a super common and very dangerous type of collision. All right, let's level up. One-way streets, especially the big ones with multiple lanes. These introduce a totally different kind of risk, and they demand absolute, non-negotiable discipline when it comes to positioning your vehicle. Okay, here's the critical difference you have to understand. On a two-way street, when you turn left, your biggest threat is oncoming traffic, right? But on a one-way street, the danger is coming from vehicles moving in the same direction as you, in the lanes right beside you. And that's why your position in the far left lane isn't just a good idea. It is mandatory. It's the only safe option. And the consequences of getting this wrong are severe. Trying to make that left turn from any other lane, well, you're basically cutting right into the path of parallel traffic. You're setting yourself up for a nasty, high-speed side impact collision. The lesson here is simple. Get in the correct lane and get there early.
Okay, time for an expert-level problem. What do you do when the normal rules just don't cover the situation? Let's talk about those really tight intersections, where physical space becomes the biggest hazard of all.
I'm sure you can picture this. You're at a narrow crossroads trying to turn left. A big truck is coming from the opposite direction, and he wants to turn left too. But there's just no room. You can't both go at once. So who goes first? It feels like a deadlock, but there's actually a protocol for this exact situation. And it's called the pyramid of yielding. Now, this isn't about just being nice or guessing. It's a specific risk mitigation strategy that creates a clear legal pecking order to solve the conflict safely. The pyramid is actually pretty simple. First, heavy vehicles, trucks, buses, always get priority over light vehicles, like our cars. It just makes sense, they need more room to maneuver. Then, within that heavy vehicle category, buses are given priority over trucks. This little hierarchy solves most of these standoffs. But what if the vehicles are the same type? And here we have the final, and maybe most important, layer of safety. When the pyramid rules don't apply, let's say it's 2 cars facing off, or 2 trucks, the system depends on human communication. We're talking a hand signal, a flash of the lights, making eye contact. The source material is very clear. Passage is determined by consultation. In that moment, cooperation becomes the rule. So, let's wrap this all up. We've taken the simple turn, pulled it apart, and shown it for what it really is, a constant, active exercise in managing risk. So, here's what you should take with you on your next drive. That 9-step protocol, that's your new foundation for every single turn. Think of correct positioning as your #1 defensive tool. Remember to close the door on your right turns and be super disciplined with your lane choice on the left. And always remember, when the formal rules can't solve a problem, clear communication is your ultimate safety net. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. The next time you're behind the wheel, approaching an intersection, ask yourself, are you just a driver following the painted lines on the road? Or are you a risk manager actively controlling the space around you? The answer to that question could truly change the way you drive forever. Thanks for tuning in.